All right, guys, this is the video where you all landed, and this is where you all called me a scammer. Pretty much there's 190 comments, half of these at least are mine, so there's at least 90 comments here from you guys. Pretty much 95% of you calling me a scammer, and this is impossible. And I don't hold this against you guys, because of course, how can you get free money? You know, like 339 is that's like 5 grand. Okay, how could you get free money? But I made another video which you can find on my channel, and this is the one here. So this one here, so free $5,000 strategy revealed. So I hope you've watched this one. This one explains it.
Hey guys, how are y'all doing?
Okay, hold on. This one explains it much better. So I haven't promoted this video. So you see what YouTube gives you, 47 views, and I've pasted this link to all of you guys in this video here, and I only got 47 views. And then there's really only one comment, and there's just one guy calling me a fake and a pyramid. Well, 2 guys. So nobody can believe that this is even possible, but I'm going to show you exactly how it's possible and exactly what you need to do to get an airdrop, like the 1-inch one that I told you in the second video, like the Uniswap that I told you in the second video as well. Okay, so this is it, guys. This is the platform. It's called DDX Exchange. These guys, I believe, are going to be doing the same airdrop, and I believe, it's not going to be as, valuable as the other 2 were, because this is the smallest of all exchanges. So the airdrop is going to have the smallest value. However, it's the best one you have left. Okay, and as long as you use different wallets and you do trades with different wallets, each wallet is going to qualify for the tokens. So just use 10 different wallets, and even if it's only $500 US, if you use 10 wallets, that's $5,000 US. And if you use 100, that's $50,000 US. And as I've explained in the second video, that's chump change. That's not really big money to these companies. These companies cost millions of dollars to develop this product. You're looking at it and you're going, what? Millions of dollars for this? Yes, guys, millions of dollars for this. And I've also showed you that in the second video. So watch the second video if you haven't. Now, let's move on. Now I'm going to explain to you exactly why I think that. Here is an interview with the founder, Antonio Giuliano, on creating the decentralized BitMEX, essentially, exchange. And I'm just going to let him explain to you why he thinks this, doing a token, is a good idea. All right, let's listen in.
But I saw recently Ryan Adams from Bankless. He speculated that...
This is the interviewer posing a question to him. So just listen to the question as well. It's all important.
That Dydx would maybe launch a token one day. This was shortly after Uniswap distributed their Uni token retroactively to anyone who had ever interacted with the Uniswap exchange. And so he said, well, it pays off to be early and to use something. I recommend you guys use Dydx because it's one of the coolest projects out there that still doesn't have a token. Yeah, it's also funny to observe how, like a year ago, it was kind of a virtue to not have a token, and now everyone wants any project to have a token. But do you have a comment on this? Like, is this something that's in the pipeline?
Yeah, it's a great question. Certainly, we're paying attention to everything that's going on in the DeFi space. I'd say tokens we've seen be really valuable, both in terms of just spurring a lot of growth for platforms. Well, of course, we want to grow too. So that would be super positive for us. Another thing that I think is really impactful about tokens is just how much more, power and say they give to the community over the direction of the project, which I think is a really positive thing as well. And I think would really benefit Dydx. And then just in terms of fully decentralizing the protocol and kind of moving from more just admin keys to totally like fully decentralized governance of the protocol, I think is a really valuable thing at the end of the day as well. So, no direct answer at this point, but I'd say we're pretty seriously thinking about it from just a lot of different angles. We definitely see a lot of benefits to it. But first and foremost, our main priority has always been and will always be just making the best and most functional product, and not necessarily just trying to hype it up with like tokens or things like that. But I think we've been able to do a really solid job of just building a great product at this point, and we continue to just push a lot forwards. I think Dydx gets better every day. And we do see a token as potentially being additive to the platform overall. So yeah, I guess answer is we're thinking pretty seriously about it, but no firm plans yet.
Okay.
So there you go, straight from the horse's mouth. You decide for yourself, because if you go ahead and do this, if you invest your time, and it's going to cost you some ether because you're going to have to pay the ether to do the transactions on the decentralized exchange. That's just the way it is. If you go ahead and do it, this is where you decide yes or no, whether this is or isn't for you. You have to do your risk reward. Is it worth your time? Is it worth spending a few dollars on the fees? Or is it not worth your time? And is it not worth spending the few dollars on the fees? Okay, now I have another video for you where he kind of gets the same question and he talks about it as well. So let's listen to that as well. So I actually put in these timestamps here because just so it's easier for me to move around. So this is the last bit here. Let's listen to that first and we'll listen to the other two later because they're relevant in a different way.
And then I just wanted to get your thoughts on how do you think about the whole liquidity mining and yield farming space right now?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, I guess personally, I've been like pretty surprised and like impressed with like a lot of the traction, obviously, that like tokens like Pomp and other decentralized networks like that have had. And it's definitely something that makes us like stand up and take notice of what's going on, of course. I think DYD, so we're still basically like thinking through what we want to do on the token side. So certainly no guarantees like either way, but yeah, my honest thoughts on it are that I think it is really valuable, like empirically, for the growth of like decentralized networks, and would also be really valuable for DYDX in a similar way. We're just kind of thinking through, like, if we were to do it, like, what would be like the ideal token design? So that's kind of the way we're thinking about it. We're always really focused on DYDX as first and foremost a product. And I think that that's like a really important distinction and like a really different mentality than at least my interpretation of like the way a lot of different decentralized protocols kind of think of themselves, which again is like more of a network or like more of a protocol. Yeah. Like at the end of the day, we just want to make an exchange and a product that's every bit as performant and every bit as good and hopefully better than other exchanges that users use, whether they be centralized or decentralized. And we want to do whatever is necessary to be able to build that.
Yeah, yeah, that definitely shows to me, like, since I've been using the product. So I've really appreciated all the features.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a similar.
Okay, so that's straight from the horse's mouth. So it's essentially the same answer again. So he's prepared for these questions. He knows, you know, the community out there is already on his tails. This was on August 13th, and then the other interview was October 14th. Okay, guys. So this has been a speculation going on for a while, and even in their Discord, I have to find their Discord channel. Hold on a sec. Where do I have? This is Discord here. What? Don't new audio device? Don't switch. Don't switch. Okay. Where am I? Loop ring. I'm not good at this thing. How does this? I don't use Discord very much. Forgive me. There we go. DYDX. There we go. Announcements. Is it in the announcements or is it in the welcome? 3 billion in transaction volume since launch. See, this 3 billion, guys, this is big. This is huge. $3 billion in transaction volume. I want to show you, okay. Hey all, we're excited to have as many new people in community and trying out DYDX to address a few common questions. So guys, I'm giving you everything here, so you decide whether this is going to work or not, because if you invest your money and you lose your money, it's on you, okay? Not on me. I'm just giving you the information. You decide where you want to go ahead. I'm giving you the bull case, and I'm also giving you the bear case. This is the bear case. Look, listen to this. There has been no official announcement on a DYDX token or airdrop, and we don't have any firm plans on one right now. While we are excited about the potential for community governance and ownership of the token brings, we're laser focused on building the best product for the traders right now. We agree that fees are very high right now, especially for small traders. This is due to the Ethereum gas fees, which are very high and we don't control. They used to actually cover these fees and they were making a huge loss, so then they had to change it. But now I think that they have a bit of too much of a reserve in it, and I think the Ethereum fees, or maybe they don't refresh quick enough, and their Ethereum fees on their platform are even worse than Ethereum fees like directly on the Ethereum blockchain. Now, number 3, in January, this is important, listen to this. In January, we will be launching a new product for perpetuals built on L2, so Lever 2, through ZK rollups and Starkware. That will be a major improvement. No more high fees due to gas. Many new trading pairs, higher maximum leverage, and a completely redesigned and improved product. We'll release more info about it soon, and we love for you to try it out when we launch. This, guys, is going to happen in January. People tend to be a little bit over optimistic about these launch dates, but it's already the 10th of January, and I'm thinking soon after they do this, or maybe at the same time, they might announce the token. But I'm thinking it's not going to be at the same time given the way that this announcement goes. But don't be discouraged when you read something like this. They have to say this. They don't want speculators. They have to discourage speculators, but they're not saying no, guys. They're not saying no. And to me, that's a yes. Okay? Because I'm going to show, well, if I can even find it. I don't know if I can find it, but I want to show you this particular project just to show you what's possible in crypto, called YFI. This was developed by someone called Andre Cronje. And what he said on Twitter, I'm not going to be able to find the post right now, but he said, this is a worthless token. It does absolutely nothing. Let's look at the price history of this worthless token that does absolutely nothing. Do you see this, guys? Look, started at about 1,000. It's probably started much lower than that, but it's not even covered here. And then look at this. A perfectly worthless token took over Bitcoin, went to 35, dumped down to 22, went up to 43. That's why I said Bitcoin's going to go to 43 or 42, I thought at the time, which turns out to have been right. But it looks like it was actually 43. You know, you can make 2 mistakes and get it right. Look at this head and shoulders pattern. How beautiful is that? And then doom, back down to 8. And now it's back up to 43. Okay, guys? I mean, this is life-changing money. Look at the trading volumes. They're big. They're big, like 577 million for a worthless token. Just airdropped. What's airdropped? People got it for liquidity mining. This is where you provide liquidity on the platform, and then you're given tokens in exchange for that. Because without liquidity, there's no market. It's essentially being a market maker, being paid to be a market maker, but in a decentralized ways, which is fabulous. Okay, this is what happens in crypto. Okay, I just want to help you fully understand everything. So we've heard from this interview, we've heard in this interview, but I want to show you 2 more things because I want you to understand. Because what we don't know is exactly how you're going to have to use the product in order to qualify for the airdrop. Now, this, guys, is the tricky part. The more you do, the more likely it is that you're going to qualify. But the other really important thing, even more important thing, is the earlier you do it, because there's going to be a cutoff time. When that cutoff time is going to be, I have no idea. But I made sure I got I got in line for these tokens to qualify for tokens before the end of 2020. And I'm going to continue to do this throughout January. Just use more wallets, and just use the protocol. But the fees have been they have been insane because everything was so busy because of the bull market. So I haven't used it as much as I would have liked because I was waiting for quieter times on the network to do trades. So I'm just hoping January is going to be a little bit quieter on the shitcoin side, where and everything's going to move more back to the centralized exchanges, and there's going to be more trading of Bitcoin Cash that were recently pumped, and all these other old shitcoins that are on the centralized exchanges, and then the Ethereum itself is going to be a little bit quieter, and there's going to be more opportunities to trade on this particular exchange for less money, because the fees can get really high, as you're going to see later on. But so the more you do, the more likely it is that you're going to be able to claim this airdrop. And the earlier you do it, the more likely it is. So don't delay, guys. If you think this is a possibility, start today, immediately, right now. Because tomorrow it could be too late. It might not matter how much you use it because you'll be past the cutoff. But I think there's going to be a staggered way. So before this date, if you even did anything, you're going to qualify. After this date, you're going to have to do more because they're going to want to filter out some of these speculators that are going to be coming in. And they're already coming in, guys. So we need to hurry up. I've been telling everybody, hurry up, but we had like less than 100 subscribers. So don't blame me, guys. I tried. I tried my best. But everybody thinks this is a scam. And I understand why they think that, but that's just the way it is. So we're going to try and figure out what we need to do to make sure we qualify. So first of all, if you just deposit and withdraw, I don't think that's going to be enough. It may be enough, but I would rather not just rely on that. The least you can do is use the spot exchange, okay? then the more likely thing to qualify is going to be a margin trade, because margin gives them higher fees. And then the most likely thing to get qualified would be to use the perpetuals. Why the perpetuals? Because perpetuals are not available in the United States. And because they want to avoid dealing with the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, they don't want to be seen as a security. They may want to avoid the United States users by filtering, by just sticking to people who confirm that they are not from the United States, because they confirm that by using perpetuals. Now, perpetuals are the riskiest, the most expensive products, and they're going to cost the most fees. But they are the most likely ones to actually give you the airdrop, to qualify for the airdrop. Now, I believe the value of the airdrop is going to be the smallest of the three. So the biggest one was the Uniswap, the biggest project, can give out the most money. Then the second one was 1 inch, considerably smaller, and this one's going to be smaller again. So if you think that 1 inch was worth about let's say 1,000 to 2,000, and that was the Uniswap. So 1,000 to 2,000. 1 inch was worth about 600 to 1,200. Okay, the basic airdrop of 400 tokens, and then the basic airdrop of 600 tokens with the 1 inch. Here, it doesn't matter what the number is going to be. Let's say the number is going to be 500 tokens as a basic airdrop for just doing the basic stuff, not providing liquidity and all that more advanced stuff. Because, I mean, we're not going to be providing liquidity because that's more complicated. It's also more risky. I want to give you guys the lowest risk, the lowest fees option to do it. And then if you want to do more, that's up to yourself. The more you do, the more likely is that you're going to qualify. Now, with 1 inch, there was a cutoff. I don't know, there's a pretty early cutoff for just doing anything. Then you had more time if you did at least 4 trades, or if you made at least 1 trade in worth more than $30, I think. But I don't quite understand the second part. There was a lot of people who didn't get the 1 inch airdrop because the definition is a little bit fuzzy. So here what you want to do is at least make a spot trade, a simple spot trade. So we're going to put in some USDC. So that's a US dollar stable coin that's based on the ERC20 Ethereum standard. So we're going to buy that on an exchange, stick it into our MetaMask, send it over to Dydx, do a spot trade between USDC and the DAI. DAI is another stablecoin. So we're not going to risk any price volatility. So if you were to do the same with Ethereum, for example, or I don't know if they have much else going on, you would be obviously risking quite a lot of the price volatility. Now, if you think Ethereum is going to go up in price, then fine, use Ethereum. It's even easier, less complicated, because you don't have to worry about having additional Ethereum on your MetaMask to cover the cost of gas. But, you know, it's up to you. That's up to you. But I'm just going to show you the basic system that I would use just to avoid any price volatilities and just keep things as predictable as possible. So this would be the basic things that you would have to do: a spot trade, USDC to DAI, and then withdraw the DAI, and then withdraw the remaining USDC, and then you can do whatever you want with it once it's in your MetaMask. And then you can just transfer it to another MetaMask wallet and do the same thing again. And do it 10 times. You could do that in a day. Do it 10 times in a day. Just on and off and on and off and off and off. Now, each time you do it, it's going to cost you some fees. So you're going to want to have some Ethereum in your wallet to cover for those fees. But that's it. Now, if you want to do margin, there's a minimum trade size of 1 Ethereum. 1 Ethereum, guys. Or 200 USDC if you're going to do a DAI USDC trade. So, again, you're going to have more money. And you're going to have to pay higher fees as well because there's more money involved. But it'll be more likely that you're going to get the airdrop. Now, if you want to make sure, like the highest probability of getting an airdrop would be to do a perpetual trade, the one that's highlighted in white right here. But again, that's just going to cost you more money because, again, there's higher fees and there's higher risks as well involved. And it's more complicated. But we're going to cover all that stuff later on. But why I want to cover this right now here is because we're going to talk about the perpetuals being US only. So listen to this.
I suppose this is the goal, right? Perpetuals 10x. It says not available in the United States, but we can still do margin trading. So this is basically just a CFTC kind of derivatives issue, right?
Yes, basically.
And so instead, what we want to do is head back to margin.
Okay, that's all I wanted to show you guys. So they're avoiding Americans on this particular product. And this, I don't know, but I don't really think they're going to go this narrow because they're giving the tokens away. So it's highly unlikely to be ever called a security because they're giving them away. But it's even better to just exclude Americans entirely. But you know, you self-qualify, you're not an American. You may still be an American. There's no KYC. They don't really know. So this to me isn't like that highly likely that's going to be a filter here, but it might be. So if you want to be as sure as possible to get the airdrop, then do perpetuals. Otherwise, do a spot or a margin trade. Now, I want you to listen to this, Antonio, how he talks about how he views his product, because what is actually making him money. I listened to this entire interview and also listened to the entire interview here. And you guys should do the same, okay? Listen to this whole interview. I'll provide the links, and then watch this entire interview here as well. Because you can get inside his head and understand how he's thinking. He wants everybody to trade. He doesn't want people just to borrow and lend money because that doesn't give them much fees. That doesn't give them much income, you know? He wants people to trade. That's where the big money is, okay? So that's why you should do trade and not just put in money and just leave money to accrue interest rates or just deposit and withdraw just so that you kind of say hi and then you leave. That might be enough, and maybe you want to do that too with like another 5 wallets. But that might not quite do it, okay? So let's listen to Antonio, how he actually feels about what actual use is he trying to incentivize, because that's probably the type of use that's going to get rewarded with the tokens. Okay, listen to this.
So I'm just like curious about like what metrics are you tracking right now with your launches? Like everyone's talking about total value locked up, but I really want to just like highlight that there's a lot of different products in DeFi and not all of them should be going off that metric. So really curious like what you're focusing on and what you think others should be paying attention to when they're looking at Dydx.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have kind of a strong opinion on this, but I think total value locked is like one of the worst metrics to look at for a lot of different products. So the main one that we look at is just trade volume, and kind of the main reason that we're trying to drive trade volume to our exchange is that's how we make money, is just through trading fees like a normal exchange.
Did you hear that, guys? Trading fees, not just borrowing and lending and just having money locked in the contract, because that money, the only thing it does is provides liquidity and it doesn't actually provide any profit. He wants people to trade, so you should trade if you want to make sure that you qualify. Uni was extremely generous. Anybody that even had a failed trade got the Uni tokens. 1inch were not as generous, and I think DYDX won't be as generous either. But you can do a mixture of everything, you know? Then you decide for yourself. I just want you to have all the information so that you can make an educated guess what you want to do.
And that's how we know that kind of people want to use our product, because they're like trading on it.
Do you ever look at like the borrowing lending volume, or is that like not as much of a core part of what you're building?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we used to a lot more, I would say, but now we've basically shifted our focus to be 100% on the trading side. That's why you see things like, borrow and lending just being a little bit more buried in the application. That's just really trying to push people more towards just trading, because that's where we see our niche. That's kind of how we make money, and that's how we see like the most value that we can drive.
Gotcha.
Antonio, one of the first things I noticed here, and this happens with most of the apps, so there's a two-step process here.
Okay, this isn't relevant. So, guys, you heard it straight from the horse's mouth. So I'm giving you all the information that I got, and I'm giving you the source of that information, and I'm giving you my thinking, and I'm giving you my logic behind it, but you guys can make up your own minds what you want to do. I'm going to show you how I did it. I'm going to show how I would recommend that you do it. It's kind of a middle-of-the-road strategy, but you can go further or you can go less than that. You can just deposit money and leave it there to accrue some interest. You can deposit and withdraw, and then deposit and withdraw with another wallet, or you can do perpetual trading, margin trading, do multiple trades. But the more you do, the more likely you're going to get an airdrop. You can figure out your own strategy that's the least costly, the least risky, and maybe a strategy is actually going to make you money. Because let's say you do a 2x or 5x long on Ethereum when it was only 300, you would have made a shit ton of money, guys. So that part is up to you. I'm just here to give you the information. You then decide what suits you.